Welcome back to our commentary series. We're continuing to look at some of the really fascinating writing from Ajmal and his website, theborderofamind.com.
Yeah.
This is a site we've talked about a bit before, and if you're not familiar with his work, he really is a really respected author, and he does a lot of just really deep thinking and shares it all on his website. So we're excited to be back.
Yeah.
This time we're going to be diving into one of his blog posts called Windows to Parts Within Ourselves, Dreams.
Ooh, that's interesting.
I know, right? I mean, even the title kind of gets you thinking.
It does.
Right. So before we kind of jump into the post, I think we all have those experiences with dreams, right?
Absolutely.
Where you wake up and you're like, whoa, what was that? I know I've had so many where I'm like flying and it feels so real.
Yeah.
You have that sense of freedom, and then boom, the alarm goes off.
Yeah.
And you're back in reality.
It's gone.
It's like it never even happened.
And that's something that, when I was reading through the post that really stood out to me is Ajmal talks a lot about that fleeting nature of dreams, It's like our minds are these incredible movie studios, creating these elaborate sets and experiences, and then as soon as we wake up, we leave the theater and it's gone.
Yeah, and you almost try to grasp at it.
Let's try to hold on to it.
Like, wait, what was that feeling? What was I doing? But it just slips away.
Yeah, it really is like trying to hold on to smoke or something.
Right.
You just can't.
Totally. And sometimes they're so vivid, too.
Absolutely.
Like, I had this dream the other night where I was having tea with my childhood hamster.
Okay.
And he was wearing a monocle.
What?
Don't ask me why. And then I was suddenly giving a speech to a room full of bananas and top hats.
Whoa! Hold on.
It was wild.
That's a lot to unpack right there.
I know.
But isn't it funny, though? Like, when you describe it, it sounds absolutely ridiculous. But while you're in the dream, it makes perfect sense.
Yeah, I mean, in the moment, it's completely normal.
Yeah.
Like, of course, I'm having tea with a monocle-wearing hamster.
And giving a speech to bananas.
Right.
That's just how things are in dreamland.
Exactly.
Exactly. It's only when we wake up that we realize how totally nonsensical it all was.
Yeah, it makes me think about how Ajmal talks about dreams as a playground for the mind.
Yeah, absolutely. He calls it like a space where logic takes a back seat, and our subconscious can just run wild.
Right, like it's free from the constraints of our everyday world.
Yeah, and maybe that's why we get those weird juxtapositions like hamsters, monocles, bananas, top hats. It's like our mind is just like throwing things together to see what sticks,
And maybe that's the point, right? Like maybe there is something deeper there.
Well, that's what Ajmal seems to be suggesting, right? He argues that within these seemingly absurd scenarios lie clues about ourselves, like clues about our anxieties, our desires, even creative blocks that we might not be aware of in our waking lives.
So it's not just about the funny random stuff. It's like there's a hidden message in there somewhere.
It's like a puzzle, and it's up to us to try and solve it.
Okay, so how do we do that?
Well, Ajmal talks a lot about keeping a dream journal. And it's not just about writing down, what happened in the dream. It's about really trying to capture the feeling. Like how did the dream make you feel? And he also talks about looking for recurring symbols or themes. Those can be really insightful.
Right, like if you keep dreaming about, being chased.
Exactly.
That might be telling you something.
Yeah, it might be a sign that you're feeling anxious or stressed in your waking life.
So it's not like there's a universal dream dictionary where banana means this and a hamster means that.
Right.
It's more about understanding the personal language of your own dreams.
Yeah, it's like your own personal code that you need to crack.
And that's where Ajmal's work gets really fascinating.
It is.
Like he's not giving us these easy answers. He's encouraging us to explore and figure things out for ourselves.
Right. He's like a guide, but he's not giving us the whole map.
It's a journey, into our own minds.
Yeah. And a journey worth taking.
Well, I don't know about you, but I'm definitely going to be looking at my dreams a little differently now. So for our listeners who are as intrigued by Ajmal's work as we are, make sure to check out his website, theborderofamind.com.
Definitely worth a visit.
Yeah, it's a treasure trove of thought-provoking stuff. And stay tuned for more episodes in our commentary series. We'll be back with more from Ajmal's work. But before we go, we'd like to leave you with this thought. What if that last dream you barely remember is trying to tell you something important, something about yourself that you haven't quite figured out yet?
Ooh, I like that.
Something to think about, right?
Definitely food for thought.
Until next time. Happy dreaming!